New Panos Cosmatos vampire movie on the way. Pauly Shore is sweating to the oldies, and Furiosa spared no expense. Wrong button.
Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kim left to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Josie.
And we have a banner show today. Fantastic show. Welcome to everybody on YouTube Live and otherwise. And of course, the OGs in OG classmates in podcast land.
Sure.
Yes, little rusty.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's okay.
I don't think it's rusty. That was a great intro.
I accidentally gave him one of these.
Use your brain. Use your brain.
Hey, you found
Use
it.
your brain. The thing in your head. Use it.
Oh, okay, I'll try. Yeah, so welcome back, listeners. We take a week off. We had a hiatus.
Right.
I spent some time in Reno. I did not shoot a man. I was the man. I got shot.
Yeah.
In Reno.
Yeah. He's still recovering.
It was.
So maybe that's why you think you're rusty, because you're infirmed
Could
never
be.
heard
by
about-
a gunshot.
I heard his story. The man
who got shot?
The man who got shot.
He went there to go thrift store shopping and play roulette.
Yeah.
And he got shot. He's like, what the fuck, man? I thought this place was like Vegas, but worse.
Some dude with a guitar just shot him.
Yeah, it's Vegas with more meth.
And more mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, high desert. But yeah, welcome back, guys. What's up?
Oh, well, I mean, it's kind of weird. We got a monsoon in our area of Sacramento.
Yeah, we started getting warm weather and then all of a sudden rainstorm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a monsoon, but
It's just a quick rainstorm.
it is a bit surprising considering yesterday was 82 degrees.
I know. Now
Yeah.
it's supposed to be like 61 or 58 or something like that today.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's weird.
And it's the only day. Of course, it's Saturday.
Yeah, I had a new fence built in the backyard. My tortoises had destroyed the old one.
They destroyed it.
I mean-
How do tortoises
They're
destroy?
Yeah, they're like tanks basically.
So they just what are they just
All
ramming in it?
They just like sleep against it and stuff. So they're constantly pushing
Oh,
against
okay.
it.
I
It is
see.
It's a 22-year-old fence. So
It's like in the movie 300 where like the Spartans, they have their shields and they're pushing against the thousands and thousands of Persians.
it's more like a bear sleeping in a cave, and it's just constantly eroding the cliff away underneath it.
Yeah.
Basically. But yeah, I was gonna work outside today and clean up the edge and finish like the actual like yard work around the fence and finish it, make it look nice again, and walk up 8 a.m. rain.
And you're just
Son of a bitch.
Rain.
This is California, and it's also May the 4th. So
Oh, yeah,
right.
Star Wars.
Star
Yes,
Wars
absolutely.
Day.
It's actually
yeah, welcome to Star Wars Day.
It's actually Star Wars
Yeah.
weekend because it's May the 4th to be with you, and then May 5th is Revenge of the 5th.
I've never heard of that before.
Really?
Revenge of the 5th.
Yeah. Which is also Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. they
Isn't
took,
it-
they took that from them. They took it from them, that
Those
glorious day.
nerds.
Yes.
It's been busy as ever. And
I like your
so-
shirt, Tyler. Nice shirt.
Yes. I don't know if anyone can see. I got a
Move
Raider.
your mic out of the way so everybody can see that.
Raiders of the
Hey,
Lost Ark.
let's make them bigger. Yeah, you can see it.
Nice. Very nice.
It's one of my favorite shirts.
Harrison Ford on your chest.
Did you
I
get
know.
that?
Yeah.
Was that gifted to you?
No, I got it.
okay.
It was gifted to me, but it was gifted to me by someone who knows me very well.
Someone who,
So,
Oh, very
someone
well.
that might be watching right now.
stop it.
All right, well, let's get into some Gab and Chatter, shall we?
Find some Cherokee, ye lad. Now's the time for Gab and Chatter.
Gab and Chatter, movie news of the week. Tyler, what do you have for us?
All right, so I wish I came up with a Star Wars story because it was completely lost on me that it was May the 4th be with you. So
Roger.
but Stewart.
And Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, I know, but I was doing it like how Pete does it.
Kirsten Stewart. That's how I say it.
Oh, okay.
Kirsten Stewart and Oscar Isaac are teaming up for a hedonistic 80s vampire thriller, and the movie is called Flesh of the Gods.
You know what hedonistic means?
Is it like sexual? something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know. I didn't look
All
at
I know
it.
is-
And I goddamn knew you were going to ask me that.
Did you?
Yes.
No, you didn't.
We're basically stenographers.
Yes, I did, because like I almost Googled the name, or not the name, the term, and
And I chose, I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to put any extra effort into the show than is absolutely necessary.
Wait, it's extra effort. No, it wasn't about that. It's just I knew it because I knew I was going to be questioned about that.
Now, I'm not
word.
saying I know what it means. I'm just asking if you
Look
know
it
what
up.
it means.
I'm pretty sure it
Look it up
I'm
now.
pretty sure it's like
Let's guess.
depraved sexuality.
Hedonistic, engaged in the pursuit of pleasure, sensually self-indulgent.
All right, so we were on the right track.
You
then.
think you're hot shit because you know words.
Well, the only reason I know that is because there used to be you know how they had like the MetLife Club Met? It was like an island resort. You know, you can go away. It was a family sort of all-inclusive resort in the Caribbean or whatever. They also had Sandals was another one.
Yeah,
All-inclusive.
Sandals.
They had the adult one. It was called Hedonism. And it was like you could just go and fuck.
Oh.
It was like
I'm very happy about that.
It was like the Love Boat, but with an island.
Oh, and there's different types of hedonism. Folk hedonism, value hedonism, motivational hedonism, normative hedonism.
Okay, we don't need to get
hedonistic
into-
egoism, hedonistic utilitarianism.
We don't need to get into that. But what matters is that
What kind of hedonism is this movie?
well
The sexy kind.
yeah
The kind that comes from Panos Cosmatos.
It's set in the 80s. It has vampires. It's a thriller, and it's directed from the person who made Mandy.
Panos Cosmatos.
And so I was thinking to myself after reading this story from Variety.com, like Kristen Stewart and Oscar Isaac. I never knew I wanted that duo to be in a movie together, like co-starring.
I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, so the movie is called Flesh of the Gods.
Kind of does sound Greek now that you hear the title.
Well, I mean, and you don't, not Panos Cosmatos.
Well, I didn't put two and two together. Like, I don't just hear someone's last name and go, oh, that's an Italian. Oh, that guy's Greek.
You don't hear that someone's name is Mario, and you're like, I wonder.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I wait
but
till they cook
somebody-
me a delicious lasagna.
Lasagna. or if it's pronounced Mario.
Mario, yeah.
Mario.
Mario.
Mario Lopez.
Mario Lemieux.
Is he Italian or Mexican?
That's a great question.
Well, so Flesh of the Gods is set in a glittering 80s LA where married couple Raul, who's played by Oscar Isaac, and then Alex, played by Stewart, each evening descend from their luxury skyscraper condo and head into the city's electric nighttime realm. When they cross paths with a mysterious and enigmatic enigmatic.
You're drunk.
That's not true.
Use your brain.
Shut up. Figure known as Nameless. And her hard partying cabal, the pair are seduced into a glamorous, realistic world of hedonism, thrills, and violence.
Pretty sure it's hedonism, but okay.
I don't know. Hedonistic.
I guess
hedonistic?
if you're British, you call it a zebra, but in America, we call it zebra, bro. Zebra.
So, like Los Angeles itself, Flesh of the Gods inhabits the liminal realm between fantasy and nightmare. Cosmatos said both propulsive.
What?
Propulsive.
Oh, propulsive.
Propulsive.
You don't have to read the whole story, Tyler. It's okay.
No, I'm not. No, I'm reading the quote.
You're
because
having a hard time right now. I understand.
No, I'm fine.
You're excited. It's Star Wars Day.
I know. I should probably watch the Star Wars.
Where's Indiana Jones Day?
I don't know. But propulsive and hypnotic Flesh will take you on a hot rod joyride deep into the glittering heart of hell. So essentially what this movie is, it's about LA. It's about LA vampires.
All I need to know is Panos Cosmatos, Kirsten Stewart, and what's his name? Oscar Isaac. I was thinking Pedro Pascal, but they're interchangeable. Either one would be fine with me.
Yeah, well, of course. I love
and vampires. Vampires.
There was a movie that came out like years ago called The Informers or something. That's like an 80s LA vampire story, but with Mickey Rourke.
Oh, I think I think
2008.
Yeah.
The Informers. It's based on a book and has Billy Bob Thornton, Kim Basinger, Winona Ryder, Mickey Rourke.
So I haven't seen Mandy,
Really?
but I've seen.
I
I've
feel
seen,
like that's your type of movie. You
I've seen-
you really dig that movie.
I've seen still shots of it, and it looks great. So my thinking is, they're gonna use like the same color scheme of neon and
well, we have no idea, but it's. I mean, if it's 80s set,
More neon, huh?
yeah.
it's gonna be 80s, and it's gonna be in the club life.
It's gonna be lots of red,
There's
like
gonna
in
be-
Mandy.
There's going to be lots of fluorescent colors, I am assuming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but again, I haven't seen Mandy. I've only seen still shots. So, like, I'm assuming...
I'm going to make big, broad assumptions about this movie that has no script, no details except for who stars in it and directs it,
And the story.
and based it all off of a movie I haven't seen.
That's exactly correct. Yeah.
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
But I was really excited. That's
Yeah,
the
it's cool.
the
Can't
reason.
wait.
Yeah, the reason I chose this news story was one, Oscar Isaac and Kristen Stewart. I'm sorry, Kristen. I didn't mean to mispronounce your name, but
She's related to Rod Stewart. Put some respect on it.
oh, really? Wow, I had no idea.
And Jon Stewart.
Oh, well, that is news to me. That's some breaking news.
And French Stewart.
Wait, really, French Stewart? Wow.
That's his name, right?
Yeah, I watched a movie with him in it recently.
Inspector Gadget 2.
It was not that. No, it wasn't that. It was something else.
But what I'm thinking though, like after reading like this news story, I was thinking, are we going for a Lost Boys now? Are we going for a modern Lost Boys? Because I really love the Lost Boys. It's
only set in the 80s by default, just because of when it was released.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying. I think that they're gonna
Also Fright Night.
Yeah, Fright Night.
Yeah, Fright Night. Yeah, it's all right.
Vampire's Kiss.
Club
Life. It's big city club life.
Vampire Kiss. That's with Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
Tyler's go-to move. This is Tyler's go-to move. Someone names a movie that he knows nothing about, and he says, "Oh, that's that Nicolas Cage flick."
What are you talking about?
What's the runtime on that?
Yeah, you offer up. Like,
I've seen Vampires
you
Kiss
offer
before.
up. Movies that you haven't seen and have seen, and your contribution is, "Oh, the Oscar Isaac flick," and then we continue the conversation.
And then you'll ask the runtime.
Yeah, what's the runtime on that?
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
And then the end of the conversation goes, "Oh yeah, I gotta watch that. I'm gonna watch that soon," and then never does.
Yeah. You know my way.
Anything else on that?
But no, that was pretty much it. I wish I had a Star Wars story, but
It's okay.
A Star Wars story? That's called Solo,
Yeah.
which is a Star Wars story.
Well, okay.
in the name.
Really quickly though, like I mean, I guess this is common knowledge, but like in honor of Star Wars Day, George Lucas's ex-wife saved
Are you going off page?
Empire.
Saved Empire? What do you mean?
Tyler, don't go off page.
All right, fine. Well, she was the editor for Empire Strikes Back, and
Fine, I won't. Here's the rest of the story.
She saved it?
She saved it.
Oh, okay.
And it became the classic. It became the best Star Wars movie ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's it.
What's the worst Star Wars movie ever made? Go.
Oh, worst Star Wars movie? I would have to say the Rise of Skywalker. Is it called The Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, no, yeah, that movie sucked.
Wait, is that the first? Yeah, that's the last one of
Yeah,
the
it's
the newest
it's
trilogy,
the last
right?
one of the newest trilogy. That one
Attack of the Clones.
that one isn't good either. Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah. But I think
What about you, Joseph?
yeah.
I mean, Force Awakens.
Bruce and Eric are in the chat. Eric asked if you're having another stroke, Tyler.
What do you mean am I having another stroke?
Another one?
Yeah.
What?
When was the first one?
This morning. That's why he's late.
I wasn't
Late.
late.
Actually, Tyler was early this time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Credit where credit's due. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very
Well,
much.
because Pete, you would have been late because if Pete didn't push the call time.
Yeah, usually your call time's 11:30, but I said 12 this time. So Tyler showed up at 11:45. All right, you good?
Nice.
Yes,
All right,
I'm
Joseph-
fine.
Joseph,
Wait,
what do you-
I don't understand
Joseph,
what
what
the stroke thing is.
Joseph,
Like,
Joseph, what do you got?
What do I have?
What do you got?
I have one news story, and this has kind of has been mentioned in the past before, but there's this new article on Variety talking about Pauly Shore and his Richard Simmons biopic, his unauthorized Richard Simmons biopic.
It's called The People's Simmons.
And he's making this movie, quote, whether he likes it or not.
Whether Pauly Shore likes it or
No,
not?
whether Richard Simmons likes it or not.
I think he means both of them. Because he's like, I don't want to do this, but
No, Pauly Shore does want to
I
do
look
this.
too much like him.
Yeah.
Just another
It has to
fucking
be done.
Just another fucking bump in my fucking road, says Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore once again has addressed his in development Richard Simmons biopic that has become a very hot topic.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be starring in the Richard Simmons biopic, whether he likes it or not. Shore said at his Netflix is a Joke show at the Comedy Store on Friday. And apparently, I didn't know this, Pauly Shore's parents, Sammy Shore and Mitzi Shore, co-founded the Comedy Store, the iconic Comedy Store in LA.
Yeah,
wow.
Mitzi's like the founder of that.
And it's funny because
He grew up in there.
that name Mitzi, I've heard that name
Mitzi.
so much on Bad Friends.
Oh, yeah?
The Bad Friends pod, because
Yeah.
Bobby Lee and Andrew Citino perform there like frequently.
Yeah, she's the mainstay of LA comedy.
Yeah. And at first, Richard Simmons has said, "You may have heard they may be doing a movie about me with Pauly Shore. I have never given my permission for this movie, so don't believe everything you read." And Richard Simmons is kind of hurt by this proceeding of this making of this movie because he has his own version of his own biopic that he's making or he's producing.
Oh, really?
And Pauly Shore is like, I'm not making this biopic just because we look similar now.
I don't know. It sounds like that's all the only thread that binds them together.
But also because he says, it's never been vindictive. I'm not Borat. I'm not, let's make fun of someone. It's the opposite. In April, Richard Simmons posted on Twitter, I just read that a man that I don't know is writing my biopic starring Pauly Shore. I do not approve of this movie. I am in talks with major studios to create my own biopic with some help. Wait for this movie. Don't go see this Pauly Shore starring biopic. Because apparently there was a short film as well with Pauly Shore as Richard Simmons that was released last year or something.
Yeah.
Subsequently, Pauly Shore said that he had been up all night crying in a lengthy Instagram caption on the subject matter.
He was weeping about it.
Richard, you haven't even heard the pitch. Why don't you simply let me come over to your house, bring you some warm matzo ball soup and a pastrami sandwich with dark mustard from Cantor's, rub your feet, and we can listen to the writer, Jordan Allen Dutton, pitch you our idea.
What?
I mean, it sounds like a fine night to me.
I mean, yes, but that's such a weirdly specific.
Yeah. I mean, Pauly Shore is such a weird individual.
Rub your feet.
I have a very fondness for old Pauly Shore movies. Him, the person, not so much.
Yeah. Pauly Shore also addressed the separate biopic Simmons seemed to be referencing about himself. And I also heard the good news that you're in talks with studios to do a biopic about yourself. That's amazing. The more movies about you, the better. You deserve it. There should be hundreds made.
It's got a real hard on for Richard Simmons.
Sounds a little patronizing in that line.
Many biopics are made without the subject agreeing to be a part of it. Elvis, Stephen Hawking, Marilyn Monroe, Steve Jobs, and many, 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 many more.
All those people are dead, though.
Yes.
Yeah, they're in the ground. They're 6 feet under.
But they still have their estates, their families' estates, and their families' permissions to make movies about them.
Well, what do you think about the ethical sort of thing about doing a unauthorized biopic?
I don't know.
It's a thinker.
I mean, it's different. It's like Bruce has just said, like Bob Ross, Richard Simmons, and Mr. Rogers. Richard Simmons is not like a controversial figure. He was just like a positive, feel-good fitness guy in the 80s and 90s.
Very openly gay fitness guru.
He was just like, exuded positivity.
Yeah.
So you can't really have a whole lot of hate for him. I mean, if you were making a movie about someone who was not a good person against their will, then it's like, okay, make a movie damning some terrible person. I don't know.
Yeah, the
serial
guy,
killer or whatever.
The guy that raised the price of insulin.
Yeah.
Martin Shkreli.
Shkreli.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What I would say, what came to mind was that Netflix series about Jeffrey Dahmer, which was really well done, but it kind of makes you think, well, what about the family, obviously?
Yeah, the families were upset about it.
They're going to be upset about it. So
Because they're not making a miniseries about them, about the victims. They're making it about Dahmer.
I haven't seen that one, but I heard that it focuses a lot on the actual victims.
The guy needed therapy after he played Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, which is great, but at the same time, it's like...
Which is great.
No, that they focused on the victims in the show.
A little bit. Not a whole lot.
So you would know better than I do if you've seen it, but my take on it is like, I don't need more serial killer stuff. It's great. Read it in a book. Read it in a book.
There's
about
plenty of books.
It's fine, but like it's almost like I don't know. It's like a glorification. It's like when you have a school shooter or a mass shooter. Don't say their name. I don't even want to know who they are.
I would put it more as like a capitalization than a glorification, because the people who are making it or producing it are capitalizing on these tragedies.
Yeah,
which leads to glorification.
But at the same time, the people who are producing it are, I feel like, are a little bit separate from the people who make it, because this, I mean, we're talking about something else now, but the series was made very well in it, like just from an artistic standpoint. But then it's like also what actually happened, which is terrible. But back to Richard Simmons.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, so I think Pauly Shore is a very strange man who, for whatever reason, wants to portray
because he looks like him. That's it.
Despite the backlash from Richard Simmons, the Wolper organization's biopic appears to be moving full steam ahead. While we would love to have Simmons involved, we respect his desire to privacy and plan to produce a movie that honors him, celebrates him, and tells a dramatic story. We know he is deeply private, and we would never want to invade that. However, he is an amazing person that changed millions of people's lives, and the effect he has had on the world needs to be recognized. The Warner Brothers subsidiary previously said.
So that's where
it's
hilarious. Warner Brothers. Yeah.
It's hilarious because they're like, we respect his privacy. We understand he's a deeply private person,
but fuck him.
But here we go.
At the end of that quote where he mentions
Tyler, come on.
At the end of that quote where he mentions all the other biopics, like the movies that were made unauthorized.
Yeah,
he says some of them turned out good, some of them turned out bad. Mine is going to turn out amazeballs. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. This is not a well man.
So it kind of reminds me of, like, I mean, it's not a biopic, but Paint, the Owen Wilson.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's not. I don't think it's a story of Bob Ross, but it's like an alternate Bob Ross that is a shitty person.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I watched a biopic that I'll mention in my stream picks that wasn't that great.
I think you need explicit permission from the person that you're making a biopic from. If they were going to make the movie of Tyler, they would. What was that?
Who is asking for this movie? That's our top tier Patreon member. For $100,000 a month, you can fund the Tyler Noe biopic.
Oh, what would that look like?
Oh, it would be amazing. Oh man,
it would be just the Wojak, the strung out Wojak the entire time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think for the entertainment industry, there should be like explicit permission from the person that you're making a biopic from.
Do you think? What do you think? I mean, do you guys are interested in a Richard Simmons biopic in general?
I don't know. He's fine.
I was too young to obviously watch him.
I'll watch it on streaming. He's a character that I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like if they made a Joan Rivers biopic, I'd be like, I wonder what that's all about.
I mean, like,
she's interesting. I'm sure they did, and I'm not going to watch it.
I mean, like, I don't think he.
But
had
if Pauly Shore's in it, like maybe
as Joan Rivers.
I don't know if he had like such a checkered life to.
It doesn't matter. Mr. Rogers didn't, but they made like 3 biopics about him.
They did?
Yeah.
Well, they did.
They had one with Tom Hanks,
and then that's it.
And then the one that's just a documentary.
The documentary is fantastic.
Yeah. I did watch the documentary. That one was good. I can't remember the name of it though. What was the name of it?
It's called "Won't You Be My Neighbor."
Yeah.
Oh yes,
I'm pretty sure it's called that.
Yeah,
that might be the Tom Hanks one.
Yeah. Oh no,
A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
That's the Tom Hanks one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I
did watch
the
the
real
documentary.
Steve Jobs situation.
Yeah. Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs or Michael Fassbender Steve Jobs?
Bruce says Tyler Noe biopic starring Shia LaBeouf. Good pick.
That would actually, you know what?
He's gonna go full meta. Just like stop showering completely.
Shia LaBeouf biopic starring Tyler Noe.
Oh my god!
I want to see this.
Oh my god!
I want to see the segment of that movie where he plays Stanley Yelnats in Yelnats in holes.
Can you imagine how hilarious that would be?
We have to shave your head, de-age you.
That would be so.
Cover up all your tattoos. Anyways, you got anything else, Joseph?
No, that's it.
Okay. So for my news story, I want to talk about a couple things. First of all, we had our throwback episodes last week.
Yeah, what were they?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Okay, so here's what the throwback episodes were. We had the Cats review with Tom Hooper.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Hooper's Cats. Mm-hmm. A couple of things I listened back to those, and some differences. Number one, we had the original SpongeBob Gab and Chatter intro, where it's the intro where it says, "Are you ready, kids?"
Oh yeah, that's right.
We
Going
really
back.
We really didn't have much of a format. It was all one episode, no split episode back then.
Yeah.
Tyler was clearly drunk the entire episode. Not exaggerating.
I might have been affected.
Dark days.
Might have been affected
at that time.
Yeah.
A lot of the old drops I miss. I lost a ton of drops when my iMac crashed.
Yeah.
Like I even paid money to have the hard drive restored. And they saved everything but the audio files.
Damn.
And when they sent me the files, though, they don't have names. They're just like numbered as a numeric number.
Yeah.
And there was like 600,000 files.
Oh, Jesus.
So I started like sorting through them and trying to find them. I'm like, I can't find anything. And they're lost cause.
That's a Herculean task to do that.
Yeah. Back then, we also had a MacGuffin picks, like a mystery pick.
Oh yeah, the mystery titles.
Where we would put. I had a Dunstan checks in was the slot on the wheel it landed on, and I surprised you guys with Cats.
Yeah.
We also introduced producer Justice on that episode. And
like he was there.
No, because he was in the room when we were doing the Cats commentary.
Oh yeah.
So, and we did a Cats commentary, released it the same week with full length commentary of all three of us. And producer Justice was in the room with us.
Yeah, he was watching.
So on the episode, I said, "Oh yeah, we're introducing producer Justice to the world." So it was the first mention of producer Justice.
Awesome. He just had a birthday recently.
Yes, he did. Absolutely. Both of you guys did. Oh yeah, Tyler, I have a gift for you later.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not going to stop the fact that you stiffed me on Christmas for getting you a gift.
Okay.
Still waiting.
Yeah, both of us. It's going to be my birthday before it's time. You're going to give me a birthday gift and a Christmas gift?
TBD.
Okay.
Okay. That means no.
Yeah.
And
that was a really fun episode. And then the second episode of the week was the Black Dynamite episode, where we introduced episode 1 of Tyler and Company.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
What we got episode? We got to episode 2.
We got to episode 2. Tyler, get ready. Episode 3 is coming.
Oh no. Oh no.
Garrett Stitt was a guest. Also, Lucas, your cat, was a guest for Tyler and Company.
Yeah.
Me personally, I could not stop laughing and giggling the entire time. A schoolboy ruined the entire episode. Streaming Picks theme song was Bruce. Movies streaming in the movies in the stream. Yeah. Movies in the stream.
I love it. I love it.
Me and Joseph were a lot nicer to Tyler and tolerant of his behavior back then. But there were some strategic mutes that were happening, I noticed in the edit. You could hear Tyler cackling in the background and just rambling.
Yeah.
But
I'm a lot better now.
You are. We've all grown. And then I have a couple of notes from Matt Stillman on our charade episode. So Matt Stillman, for new listeners, is a prolific movie watcher. He's a friend of ours from the Cinematics Facebook group, which is a great place to hang out online for movie fans. And he says, charade, our last episode from 1963, Stanley Donen's charade. He says, I saw this for the first time during lockdown, and I liked it for what it was. For context and explanation, for the length of the trailer and the film's goal was, in the early 1960s, the film industry was concerned with the increasing popularity of television and how to get folks to go to the theater. Sounds familiar, right? Oh. It's all getting near the end of the pre-code era, but there's still old-timey rules that need to be followed. The extended trailer was likely used to show how much more the movie was than what they could watch on TV. The star power of legends of Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn required a night out, and you'd also get romance, mystery, thrills, etc. That was the selling point. This was also an area of studio advertising, CinemaScope, Panavision, and VistaVision, like other pre-IMAX large screen formats, to distance it from television.
Oh.
If you want more from Hepburn, definitely check out Roman Holiday, Funny Face, and Wait Until Dark. That was her last film. Her last film was Spielberg's Always. Cary Grant is great in most Hitchcock films and pairing with the other Hepburn. Donen's Singing in the Rain is essential. Seven Brides for Seven Brothers is corny, but Scorsese favorite and fun if you get on its wavelengths. So he's basically giving us some recommendations because we were talking about...
Dino likes that movie, Seven Brides, Seven Brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So essentially the trailer was to compete with television.
It's almost like, look at this. You can get this in the theaters. Don't stay at home and watch it. Carson at home. Come watch, these two greats.
Oh.
Spielberg directed Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, in a movie called Always.
Oh.
I never heard of it.
I don't know. It's always funny to hear paths cross like that.
Yeah.
Like when you hear about Orson Welles and Woody Allen.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. I feel like Orson Welles is such like an old time director that I feel like I'm like he lived past the 70s. Like,
Yeah. It would be like if you found out that Michael Bay was like a PA on a Stanley Kubrick movie or something.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Or that Christopher Lee met J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah,
That's fucking
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And then Matt also says, if Charade is remade, I think that Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling can handle it. Sadly, Hepburn was always paired up with older men. Fred Astaire in Funny Face, Gregory Peck in Roman Holiday, Humphrey Bogart in Sabrina, and she never had an age-appropriate Gosling of her age. The appeal of older men for younger women of that era was financial stability. They weren't expected to go to college or work, just to move in from their father's house to their husband's house. Is a consistent aspect of older films that has aged very awkwardly.
Yeah, no, I completely
Totally agreed.
Yeah, I
Matt.
completely agree with that. That's a
Tyler was telling us the other day he wants a dame that doesn't have a job. She better not work.
Yeah, no,
I'm putting her to work.
My hands look like this, so hers can look like this.
No, she stays at home.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so anyways, my news story. Thank you for all those who listened into the past episodes. It was fun. Had a couple of messages from classmates.
A good troll down memory lane.
Yeah, saying that it was fun to listen to the format differences and whatnot. But the Mad Max Fury Road sequel, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, prequel. I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah. Is releasing at Cannes this month.
Right.
It's
also releasing this month.
Yeah.
I was surprised that I thought.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it is.
It's probably premiering at Cannes, and then we can watch it almost immediately after that.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it was coming out later, but now I was thinking about it because I think we broke that story.
We were
last
the ones.
year.
Yeah, we did it.
Well, yeah, last year we broke that story, and it was coming out in May 2024, and that just seemed like eons away.
Yeah. So, anyways, the Fury Road made about $380 million global box office with a budget of about $150 million, and there was no set price on the budget for Furiosa, but $150 was Fury Road. And usually with sequels, they usually go a little bit more expensive when it's a winning movie, like a winning sequel.
Oscar winning too.
Yeah.
Fury Road was.
Exactly.
Swept the Oscars.
And part of that budget allows for a single 15-minute action sequence that took 78 days to shoot.
Jesus.
Almost 3 months. That's absolutely ridiculous.
For 15 minutes?
11 weeks worth of shooting for a 15-minute segment that had 200 stunt workers working daily in the Australian desert.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And
sounds awful.
I saw this story getting posted around and stuff. And I'm friends with a lot of smaller indie filmmakers on Twitter. And, people are like, I wish that I could have triple the amount of time that I have to film one movie and probably 100 times the budget to shoot one 15-minute segment. Just can you imagine like the growth like we're talking about?
15-minute segment is the short film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think 15 minutes, if it's, let's just call it a $180 million budget. I'm just pulling that out of my ass.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-hour movie. Well, again, we're going to assume a lot here. So it's 180 divided by 120.
During the millions per minutes of a movie.
So 1.5 million per minute times 15 minutes.
Christ.
That's $22.5 million to produce that. And probably more if it's action, because that's probably a heavy, certain scenes are not going to cost as much with, people who are, on set or whatever, but 200 stunt people daily.
It reminds me of that Tropic Thunder scene where like they do like the explosion scene.
Oh yeah, he does the flyby,
which also took a long time to film. That scene with Danny McBride, and they're like, it took a couple weeks.
Mother Nature just shit her pantsuit. Yeah,
I know. There's like when you're making a movie, there was this thing. I had this old teacher when I was in film school. It was like, if you're on set and you're standing around, it's like instead of seconds, it's like $1, $2.
Oh wow,
$3. Obviously, in a multi-million-dollar movie, it's like
$100,
$1,000, $10,000.
That's funny. So, anyways, I just thought that's exciting. I
don't like that. I don't like hearing that because like then I'm waiting for it in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the movie. Like it looks good. I think Anya Taylor-Joy. She's the star. I didn't say Anya. I said Anya.
Are you asking me?
I don't remember where we landed.
Is that a question? It is Anya.
Yeah.
But I mean, are you asking me who's in the movie?
No, I wasn't.
That's the thing that you're supposed to bring to the show. Oh, Furiosa, that Anya Taylor-Joy movie? Come on, Tyler, be consistent.
I am consistent, but I'm excited for it. I saw that. Chatbot, you.
Hey, from 2 years ago, you've done much better. I'll say that.
Well, thank you very much.
Hey, when we watched the trailer, you said, I'm not looking forward to that. That's what you said.
I said, I'm not even going to watch it, you said.
I said that?
Yeah, you said you're like,
Really?
it doesn't look that good. That's what you said.
I did?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to say. Oh, well, I watched it.
We watched it. We made a YouTube video. You can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Wait, what, really? Mm-hmm. I rewatched it again, and I got excited for it. So, I don't know.
Maybe you were putting on an act when we were doing the video.
Maybe.
So anyways, I kind of feel you, Joseph, in that sense that you'll hear a news story. Oh yeah, Extraction had a 12-minute uncut scene where the director was riding on the hood of a car with the camera. And you're like, okay, that's cool. And
now
then
I'm waiting for
You're
that.
waiting for that scene to happen.
Is this it? Is this the one?
Is this the one? Yeah. So anyways, I am looking forward to it. It's not my most sought after one. For whatever reason, just watching the trailers, it doesn't feel like it has the same feel as the first one. But if you go back and watch the trailers for Fury Road, it doesn't feel like the actual movie. Right. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's all I have for news. Let's get to some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You from the
Streaming picks, movies that we watched this week that you can watch on yours too. And if you listen to last week's episode, the throwback to the Movies in the Stream theme song, you'll notice that movies drop is from that.
Yeah.
So new listeners might
What
not
did
know
Tyler
that.
stream pick that episode? You remember?
Yeah, that one was, he said it was Alien, Aliens, and Terminator 2.
Ah.
We're like, did you watch all of them? He said, no, I didn't watch any of them. I found out that they're on Max. HBO Max back then, actually.
Yeah, that tracks.
Something like that.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
I tagged some old drops that I'm going to steal from those old episodes when I was listening back to it. And I'm like, ooh, I could probably clip that old drop. There's not a lot of us chatting over top of it to go back, put some throwbacks on the board.
On. Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Tyler. What do you have?
So I just
It's been 2 weeks.
yeah. So
You had the free weekend.
I revisited a movie.
You're already wearing the shirt.
No, it's not that. But that would be part of the course of me. No, so I watched The Batman again because I
Hey, what's the runtime on that?
is 2 hours and 56 minutes.
You could have watched Poor Things.
Twice.
Yeah, well, you have to rent it.
No, you don't.
It's on Hulu,
It's on Hulu,
which we talked about.
which
Oh,
we've
yeah, that's-
mentioned
no, yeah, no.
also many times.
And you said, yeah, I'm going to watch that because I can't wait. I was going to buy it for $30.
Oh, you know why I didn't watch it is because I forgot my Hulu login again.
You mean Joseph's Hulu login?
No, it's his Hulu
It's
login.
mine.
Oh, you're stealing his.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Anyways, but I rewatched The Batman just because I feel like I have like these blinders for Batman stories and not objectively looking at if it's a good story or not. And so I decided, I had a bout of insomnia one night after work, and I decided to watch The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. And is it Zoe Kravitz or is it okay? Because there's 2 dots on the top of her E. So
The umlauts are throwing you off?
Yeah, it was just.
Yeah, it's Zoe Kravitz.
Okay. Yeah, directed by Matt Reeves. And
she's related to Lenny Kravitz, right?
I'm aware.
Okay.
Yes.
We didn't know about Kristen Stewart being related to Jon Stewart earlier.
Well, I did not know. That was something that was new to me.
Okay.
But so I watched The Batman again, and you know what? I'm actually kind of like not liking it that much anymore.
Really? That's a surprise for you.
Yeah. So if you compare and contrast with the Dark Knight series to this movie, of course, I love the aesthetic of the Batman, and I like how it makes it really gothic and noir sort of thing. But when I think about the Dark Knight series, it's like very concise and just a direct line. With the Batman, I think it's well acted, it's well shot, but the story just isn't there. I think Paul Dano was a little weak, and I am so glad that they did not put that deleted Joker scene in there, because that probably would have made it worse.
Isn't it in there?
Isn't it in there?
No, the Joker scene is deleted.
Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. They posted it on YouTube.
Yeah, they posted it on YouTube. I think Robert Pattinson, he did a fine job as playing a young Batman, but it was a little bit too moody. Mm-hmm. What I really liked about Christian Bale was he kind of masked his emotional turmoil that he is going through.
He's good at masking.
Right, yes. But I think Robert Pattinson, he put a little bit more of himself on his sleeve, and it's a really long movie for have that doesn't really happen. Like it feels like there's a lot of filler. I think they could have cut it down more, and I think they should have made Robert Pattinson's character more subdued rather than being edgy. However, when they used Something in the Way by Nirvana, that was awesome.
In the very beginning.
Brought me right back. I think throughout too, I think.
They used the melody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like that, but I think the first 10 minutes of the movie is just like incredible. It could have just been a short film. That's how good it was.
It felt like a short film.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah. That's what I was thinking as well. And then Colin Farrell, of course, he was a really great actor as the Penguin.
Mm-hmm.
Open your eyes.
I like the interrogation scene, like with Commissioner Gordon and Batman, like in that alleyway, where it like you can sympathize with the Penguin because he's like, what is this? Like, are you kidding me?
The worst Spanish I ever heard.
Like the under the bridge part where they're like by the water.
Under the bridge.
I don't know. No, I thought it was an alleyway. Maybe I'm misremembering.
They're like by the water.
Yeah, they're near some sort of dock or pier.
There's
a
lot of water. There's a lot of rain
very
and water.
Wet movie.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I really like that because you can sympathize with the Penguin because he's understanding the ridiculousness of this guy dressed up like a bat and then a police commissioner who is working with him. What the hell is going on here? Just the ridiculousness of it all. So I really liked how Matt Reeves portrayed like how ridiculous Batman is. Because it is
the idea of Batman.
I mean, the only
idea
person
of
that
Batman.
acknowledges that though is the Penguin.
Well, no,
you don't see me dressed like a penguin, do you?
No,
that would be. Oh my gosh, that would have been great. What do you want me to fuse my hands together like some sort of flipper creature and eat fish? Like I got black sludge oozing out of my mouth?
Oh wait a minute, I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
Well, and another point too is when Batman goes to the first crime scene of the Riddler's murder.
Get it?
Yeah. This guy's good.
Like all.
We're working with a better class of criminal.
He's going into a crime scene with all of these cops, and the cops are just like, "What the hell is this? What is this?"
I actually really like that scene because he's there and he just emerges out of the shadows like a fucking specter.
Yeah.
Like, what the? How did he get in there?
Yeah.
Greg Fraser shot that movie.
Oh yeah.
And everyone. So that's why. What I really.
What's your new rating for this?
I don't remember what it was.
I rated it an A or an A plus.
When we first watched it?
Yeah, when I first watched it. Now I'm rating it a B minus.
Same as Blair Witch.
Yeah. I think
your favorite horror movie.
Well, it is my favorite horror movie, but I think that the Batman could. I don't know.
Do you think if it was just shorter, it would be better?
I don't know if it's shorter or not, but it's kind of like True Detective season 2, where there's two.
I'll unmute you when you stop talking about True Detective. How about that?
It's kind of like True Detective season 2, where it's not good.
How dare you? No, you say that. But I think there was too many plot lines, and it got a little fantastical.
I love that final top-down shot where he's leading the people out with the red flare.
That was cool.
That was such a cool shot.
That was cool. So I'm
gonna flood the city.
Yeah.
I also liked how the Riddler thought that they were in together.
That was a good.
I like that. He's like, you've been helping me this whole time, right?
I thought we were in on this.
I don't even know you.
But yeah, so
I'm kind of fighting around right now.
So the reason why the Batman is my streaming pick is because
you're recommending it.
Well, yeah, of course I'm recommending it. Yeah, but I'm telling you the reason why I wanted to watch it again is because I feel like I have these like blindfolds, like when it comes to Batman and anything Batman related, I'm all in.
So now you're like, I'm going to actively hate this movie. I'm going to go in looking to hate it.
Did you watch Batman vs Superman?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
I wasn't a big fan of it. I watched it 2 times.
Better or worse than The Batman?
Oh, definitely worse. But
did you watch Lego Batman?
Yes, I love Lego Batman.
Is that the best Batman?
You know what?
The best Batman property we have.
Yeah, so far.
It might be like it might be because I love Lego Batman. That movie is so good.
It's so good.
But yeah, so anyway, that's what I was just thinking. Is I felt like I had like these blinders for Batman property, and I wanted to go into the Batman and see objectively what the movie was about, and I was so I'm more lukewarm on it now. But anyways, and then that's it.
You watched one movie.
I did, yeah.
In the 2 weeks.
Well, you know what? I was actually gonna.
On, you will speak only when spoken to.
It's like a punishment at this point.
I am actually I'm going to be watching Past Lives.
You already watched that.
I was going to watch it again.
Watch a new movie.
You're pre-announcing another movie that you were going to watch
that you've
for next
already
week
seen?
that you've already talked about on the show?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what this show is? Do you understand the format of the show, this segment?
I don't even know where I am at right now.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That tracks.
Watch a different movie that you haven't seen.
All right, fine.
Please, I'm begging you.
Okay.
Or a movie you haven't seen in a long time.
All right.
Yeah. We're doing this, like, literally, like, when we're talking, me and Joseph are giving these streaming picks, we're talking to the listeners, and you are one of them. We're trying to recommend you to watch these movies too.
Angie says facts.
Yeah,
she agrees with us.
Angie in the chat says facts. So
facts.
How often does me?
It doesn't matter. That's my streaming.
Your old pal sitting right across the table from you.
Yeah,
says Tyler, that's a movie I know you would like. You specifically, Tyler, would like that. Mandy.
Watch Mandy.
Just this episode, I mentioned that.
Yeah, you did.
Watch Mandy.
I'm done.
Watch Mandy.
I'm done. Joseph, what's your next streaming pick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. Well, it's been 2 weeks, so I've watched a lot of stuff.
All right. Speed run.
I'll speed run through. I watched Honey Boy, caught up with Honey Boy. Pretty good, really good, actually. Lucas Hedges was really good as
Tyler's great in that, too.
A version. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that it wasn't like he essentially is a different character. Like, he's not, I'm young Shia. I'm this person instead. And it's like just kind of parallels.
Yeah. It's like paint.
Yeah, I guess so, but
it's not
a little bit more accurate.
Shia
Although
LaRosse.
I don't know how accurate the movie is because apparently the dad was like, "That's not what happened."
I would say that too if I was the dad.
Yeah. It's not Shia, it's Otis.
Yeah,
who's the stand-in here for Shia's life, I guess. But Lucas Hedges played a good older version of that character, I guess.
Yeah,
that was a bold take for Shia to play in Honey Boy. I enjoyed the movie
as his dad,
as his abusive dad.
Yeah,
it was good. I enjoyed it, and I assume that's where Shia met FKA Twigs, who then they had a tumultuous relationship.
Yes, they did
afterwards. But yeah, that was good. I think that's streaming on Prime. Honey Boy,
cool.
I would recommend that if you haven't seen it.
It's a good one.
I co-op. That's good.
I rewatched. Speaking of Pauly Shore, I rewatched Biodome.
Oh hell yeah!
I used to watch this movie a lot.
Purple Sticky Punch.
Yeah, Purple Sticky Punch. I reference that a lot. No one gets it. Stephen Baldwin, Pauly Shore.
Oh yeah, Stephen Baldwin.
Kylie Minogue.
Oh, that's her?
Yeah.
Okay,
The redhead scientist.
Yeah. I never put two and two together, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's a really fucking stupid movie. So there's a little bit of nostalgia factor. It's not good, but it's definitely like, I can't imagine like having, I was a little bit more embarrassed for the other actors in this movie that they just had to suffer Pauly Shore while making it.
And pretend to be like turned on by him too.
Yeah. Like, you guys find these guys like Stephen Baldwin with the braids.
The twisties.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Squirrely.
I like how they get into it too. They're just like there waving with the other scientists when they're in there.
I mean,
there's definitely some funny moments in it.
I've probably seen that movie 10 times.
It's just junk. Yeah. It's junk food for the eyes.
It's real junk food. For
yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
When they did find that room with all the food, all their like storage. When I was a kid, I was like, man, I could really go for a Big Mac right now. Those fries look delicious. Kind of like the cheese in a Goofy movie.
Oh yeah. There you go. Also a Pauly Shore in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Pauly Shore's in there.
Power chow cheese.
I caught up with Exorcist Believer, the David Gordon Green Exorcist Believer.
That's
streaming on. Yeah,
Peacock,
it was on Peacock. Now it's on Prime.
For some reason, I thought it was in theaters or something.
It was.
It was like 6 months ago.
Theaters.
Oh, it was. I don't even know where I am half the time.
Yeah.
Wake up, Tyler.
It was a pretty decent movie, but then they brought in Ellen Burstyn, and then it got a lot worse.
Bro.
I don't know why, because she's like a good actress, but for some reason her writing was so terrible.
It was because of the patriarchy.
Yeah, because of the patriarchy.
Oh,
which is a line in the movie. She says, she says they wouldn't allow me in the room because
when my daughter was being exercised
because of the patriarchy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
And what happens to her too is so disrespectful to the character.
I know.
For no reason.
I know. Why wasn't that possessed child strapped down like in The Exorcist? Anyway, did she not learn anything?
Yeah. I really wanted to like it when I watched it. I was thinking, these people are just being a bitch about everything because it's like, oh, it's The Exorcist, the original one, and you can't live up to the original or whatever.
It was an interesting.
But it's not good.
It was an interesting new take on it because it's two girls.
Yeah, I like that part.
That get possessed.
Two girls, one possession.
Yeah, it's Pazuzu's like, I'm gonna take two.
I forgot that was his name, Pazuzu.
And he's like, I'm back.
Yeah, they sing that song. It takes two, baby.
So I would not recommend that, actually.
Okay.
Let's see. The biopic. I watched a music biopic. I watched Bob Marley, One Love.
Oh, cool.
I heard that wasn't that good.
Streaming on Paramount Plus through Apple TV is where I watched it.
I heard good things.
Not good.
Oh, really?
No, not good.
That's a bummer.
Because the movie does not do a very good job of painting Bob Marley as a person who was that important and had that much of a significant impact on music and like peace culture.
Right.
The biopic really makes it seem less so because it focuses more on the music than the impact the music had and his presence had. And this whole time I thought that he was killed, like he was shot and killed.
No.
He had melanoma.
Someone attempted to kill him and his manager and survived, and then he died from skin cancer.
Well, just like Johnny Cash, he's the one doing the shooting.
Yeah.
He shot the sheriff in Reno.
So this was streaming on. Yeah, I said it, Paramount Plus, Apple TV. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know. It was just not well made.
Really?
Yeah,
that's sad. I like Bob Marley's music. It always calms me down when I listen to it.
It makes me agitated.
I was gonna say I'm a little bit. I get a little bit heated.
I get angry.
Fuck Bob Marley. No, thank you.
But yeah, it was just not. It was not great. And I don't know much about Bob Marley. I know his music, but I just don't know too much about his. And I don't know anymore because this movie didn't do a good job of it.
The movie didn't teach you anything.
No,
Yeah.
other than he died from skin cancer. I thought he died from a gunshot.
Interesting.
No, that's John Lennon.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That was that
Speaking
guy.
of which, I'll get to a stream pick in a second here. I watched Dumb Money, which is about the GameStop stock fiasco back in 2019, 2020.
Okay.
Starring Paul Dano as Roaring Kitten, who was like the big main player in that whole thing, who was watching the stocks. He would show his sheets on his stream. And I have no idea how accurate it was. I was like an outsider watching the whole thing happen. But it was pretty entertaining, honestly. It was a little bit like a BlackBerry type of movie where it's kind of funny. It's like more of a comedy. And
I mean, you can't go wrong with Paul Dano. Like, I can't think of any film that he's been bad in. He's an incredible actor.
I can't either. No,
I think he's underrated too as well.
I think he's proportionally rated because people think he's good. He's good.
And I'm not going to pretend to know anything about investing or the real life situation, but I just took it as it was, as the movie presented it. And it was a good time. Entertaining.
Nice.
By the way, if you're listening today, May 4th, GameStop is actually on the rise again. It increased like 55% in one day.
Damn it.
Yesterday.
Yeah, this is starring Paul Dano, Seth Rogen as like one of the like main investment firms who owned a lot of the like GameStop stock and like the sufferers who lost billions of dollars after.
Yeah.
But yeah, good time. Streaming on Netflix.
I want a movie about the Trump stock, DJT, when he went public or whatever with True Social.
Oh, yeah.
And the hella boomers lost like hundreds of thousands of dollars. They put all their life savings in it and it like tanked in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I don't think in the movie they portray the loss of like these like billionaires. They lost a bunch of money as if like they're now homeless or something. You know, it's like such a big impact when they're still millionaires. So it's not like it had a huge impact on like.
I'm gonna sell my third home.
It wasn't like a gotcha thing with the people who are just like regular people. Like they show other characters in this movie. One's like a college student, one's a nurse, and they do this interesting thing where they show their current net worth, and it's like the college student is like negative $100,000 because of loans.
Yeah.
And then they show it kind of throughout the movie, like after they invest in stock, and like people are like, you need to get out. Like their friends are like, you need to get out now, sell now. It's like, I can wait. I can just like hold the line.
I'm holding.
Yeah. Like to the moon.
Hold.
Yeah. Diamond hands, as they call it.
Diamond hands.
That's right.
Because they're all like watching him, Paul Dano's character, and they're like, he's not selling, so I'm not going to sell.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. It was an entertaining, good time. I watched yesterday, speaking of John Lennon, which I had no idea was directed by Danny Boyle.
Oh, cool.
It's a Danny Boyle directed movie. And I was surprised as I started the movie. I was like, directed by Danny Boyle. I was like,
he rarely misses Danny Boyle.
Oh. And this is a streaming on Netflix. And it's essentially the story of this singer-songwriter like who wants to make it big. And he just isn't getting there. He's like towards the end of his indie artist career. He's like, I can't do this anymore. Like I need to actually make money. So I'm just going to go to a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
And then he's like riding on his bike and there's like this worldwide blackout. And at the same time, he gets hit by a bus. And there's like this slow motion shot of him. The world's blacking out and he got hit by the bus and he's like flying through the air. And then he wakes up in the hospital. And in that time period, there's no explanation. The Beatles never existed in this world. But he
now that he's awake.
But he has the knowledge of being a musician and being a big like music fan and Beatles fan. He has the knowledge of having those songs in his head. So he performs a song for his friends because they get him a new guitar for his birthday, and he performs Yesterday. And they're like, that was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life. And he's like, and they're like, have you never heard this before? And it's like the Beatles. They're like, the Beatles, like the bug, the Beatles, like. And
the shitty Beatles. How are they?
The shitty Beatles.
They suck.
And it was pretty good. It was like kind of a cutesy kind of comedy movie, also starring Lily Allen.
Lily Allen is in this?
I think that's her name. Is that her name?
I like Lily Allen.
Yeah. She made the one hit.
No, sorry. Lily James.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I like her too.
Yeah.
But she's not related to Alfie Allen, so she gets a slightly less.
Oh, also, so Ed Sheeran is a character, and he plays himself, but he plays a parody of himself.
Oh, really?
And he's kind of funny. They have this. Ed Sheeran sees him perform. He's like, hey, I like your music. Why don't you open for me on this tour? And so he opens for him on his tour. And then after the gig, they're like, all right, I'm going to go in this room. You go in that room. Whoever writes the best song in 10 minutes wins or whatever. And so he writes, I can't remember what song he writes. He writes a Beatles song, performs it. And then Ed Sheeran's like, no applause. No, we're not going to do a vote. You won. I'm just going to leave. Okay. And then later in the movie,
that's funny.
Ed Sheeran still exists and he still has his regular music. And there's a scene where he's like walking around the corner and his phone goes off and it's one of his own songs.
Shape of You or whatever.
And there's this also strange thing that where the Beatles didn't exist, so a couple of other things don't exist as well.
They were inspired by the Beatles.
So at first it's like there's no Oasis, right? There's no Oasis.
I have a question when you get to the end of that.
And then it's okay. So Oasis, I guess that makes sense because they're musicians and maybe they wouldn't exist because the Beatles didn't exist.
They're Brit bombs.
Yeah. And then also he's like, can I get a Coca-Cola? And he's like, a what? And he's like, I mean, you know, like the soda. And he's like, we have Pepsi. But there's no Coke.
There's no Coke?
Coke was around way before the Beatles. What the fuck?
I know. So it's like, it's very...
How does that make sense?
It's confusing because there's a couple other things that don't exist throughout the movie. That's like, is it because the Beatles didn't exist, or is it just like an alternate timeline where certain things just weren't created?
I have to believe, with just the information you've given me, that some event happened pre-1850 when Coca-Cola was invented. Basically the precursor to Coca-Cola was invented. And that made it so John Lennon was never born, Ringo Starr never picked up the drums.
Yeah.
And Coca-Cola never found cocaine to put in the soda.
Yeah, there's other things that come up in the movie that weren't invented because the Beatles weren't around, or just because this alternate timeline just didn't have those things created.
So basically, this guy gets hit by a bus, and then he's
almost like a time traveler.
Yeah, he's launched into another time.
It's not a time traveler because everybody is still in his life.
All the rest of the people are there?
Yeah, so his life continues. It's just like everyone's memory.
Oh, so it's a coma dream.
And the characters or the people of the Beatles
exist,
are still alive.
So John Lennon exists. He's like an accountant or something.
They just weren't a thing. And then when you're watching this movie, you're wondering where it's going. Is he going to get found out? Is he going to get zooped back into his own, like his past world?
All right.
And it kind of surprised me. Don't
tell me.
There's some things I do want to mention.
Damn it, I want to know.
Watch the movie.
Yeah, watch the movie.
I'll watch this with Brianna. It sounds like a fun one.
Yeah, it's a little cute movie.
I have a question though. What about 9/11?
That's not mentioned.
There's no Twin Towers in the background anywhere somewhere?
No.
There's now Twin Towers in every major metropolitan city.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Eric says the main character of that movie sounds like if Kern AI was a human.
Himesh Patel.
I guess.
That's his name. I think it's his name. Okay, that's that. That's streaming on Netflix.
Okay.
I had a good time.
Cool. Adding it to my watch list right now.
Let's see here. I watched Zola.
Oh, yeah.
A24 Zola, which is based on a Twitter thread and a real life story starring Riley Q and Coleman Domingo and Taylor Page.
I love Coleman Domingo in this.
Where the main character, who is just working at a diner, gets coerced by Riley Keough to become a stripper, and then from there gets asked by Riley Keough to go down to a trip to Florida, and unbeknownst to her, that Coleman Domingo is a pimp.
She's getting tricked out.
And she's getting tricked out. She's like, I didn't sign up for this. I thought we were just going to dance.
You dance on his dick.
Yeah.
And there's a little device throughout the movie, a little Twitter whistle sound that is played throughout when it's based, like this was an actual tweet from this person. And whenever that sound plays, that's an actual part of the Twitter thread.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. And that's a pretty entertaining movie. It's kind of like a comedy, kind of like I wouldn't say thriller, but have you seen it?
Yeah.
Which it's like kind of funny, but also kind of like it's like a Harmony Korine mixed with Sean Baker.
Yeah, that's really good characterization. It is tense at moments and it is kind of frightening at moments, and there's a lot of interesting characters they run across just being in Florida. But it also has it feels kind of like Hustlers, where they don't shy away from
there's some dick.
The reality of stripper life and prostitution life and stuff. Yeah.
There's some close-ups of some dick in this movie.
Oh, close-ups.
Yeah. It kind of there's like a montage of I mean, you haven't seen it, but Poor Things type of like prostitution montage.
At some point they become the pimps, more or less.
Like she becomes a better pimp than Coleman Domingo is.
Which is preposterous. He's the proto-pimp. Coleman Domingo is
the proto-pimp.
Coleman Domingo's got such a great voice.
He does. I'd let him pimp me for sure.
Pimp me out, Coleman.
Here comes a new message.
If they did a Requiem for a Dream remake, he could play Keith David's part.
Yeah. He had an accent in that too, which I don't think he has in real life.
No, I couldn't tell which one he has. Like
he switches back and forth,
like an African kind of accent.
Yeah,
to
like Nigerian or Ugandan or something like that.
Yeah.
When his hood side's coming out and he loses his temper, he loses the facade and goes back to the African accent. It's great. And I didn't love that, but I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was entertaining. I liked it well enough. And then I watched Unfrosted.
Ooh,
the new Jerry Seinfeld directed and starring Pop-Tart biopic.
Parody Pop-Tart biopic? It's a parody?
Yeah.
I heard about that.
I guess it's a parody.
It's like a parody of those biopic type product biopic movies.
Yeah, starring Jerry Seinfeld, Melissa McCarthy, Jim Gaffigan, Max Greenfield, Hugh Grant, Amy Schumer, and a bunch of comedians, Mikey Day, Beck Bennett, Kyle Mooney.
Amy Schumer's still getting work?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, sadly. Fortunate for the world.
Like, it's full of comedians. Bill Burr plays JFK, I think.
They put a wig on him?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay. It would have been great if he was still just bald and redheaded.
Yeah, that would have been
an oxymoron.
And Seinfeld has made comments about the woke left ruining comedy, and then
PC culture.
Also, movies are over, which is. It's so funny to me because his stand-up it's like the left is not the problem with the comedy. When you have a whole bit about raisins and oatmeal cookies, it's and then
about raisins?
And then when you do jokes that are from your 90s sitcom and you're still doing them.
Oh yeah, Joseph just saw Seinfeld in concert this last weekend.
Yeah, so
they're still doing jokes from the 90s sitcom Seinfeld on your hat.
Yeah, on my hat. I love the show. I always love the show. But honestly, Jerry was kind of the weak point of the whole show.
Interesting.
Yeah. All the good writing really came from Larry David.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Interesting. I never thought about that.
But Unfrosted, directed, and I think partially written by Jerry Seinfeld. Mm-hmm. He's definitely still delivering his Seinfeld type humor in the movie because he can't act. But it's not that bad. The movie is I got a couple chuckles out of it. It's more miss than hit, for sure. The ratio is very skewed.
Sure.
But did it change cinema?
Yeah.
No, not really.
It might be worth your time. It's an hour and a half long. Hugh Grant plays Tony the Tiger. And there is this whole scene where when the Pop-Tart starts getting introduced, all the mascots of all the cereals, they're like, what about us? We're going to be put on the back burner because of this new invention here. And there's this whole riot scene that is a parody of the insurrection.
Really?
And
that's funny.
And Hugh Grant takes his Tony the Tiger suit and changes it to that guy with the animal hat.
You with the horns.
Yeah.
What do they call it? The shaman.
The shaman.
He does a Tony the Tiger
shaman.
Tony the Tiger shaman.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh my god.
All right, well, and I'm gonna watch it because I feel like I have to. But I've heard a lot of bad things about this.
It's not great, but it's not nearly as bad because there's some articles that were calling it the worst of the decade. And
oh, geez,
I would say that's kind of dramatic.
Yeah,
but it's not terrible. It's just I won't watch it ever again. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I watched. I wanted to talk about doing it again because I saw it for a third time, but I won't.
You won't?
I won't.
Well, I can't wait to watch it again for a second time. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go through a couple of movies that aren't streaming, but I feel like they have to be mentioned. Number one, Hundreds of Beavers, movie that I have a super boner for.
Yeah.
It's my favorite of the year right now. Standing is my favorite of the year. It's unbelievably creative and fun and goofy and silly. And it's like all of the goofy comedy of the Three Stooges and Looney Tunes kind of crammed into one interesting story device.
Yeah.
And shot in black and white, homages to the Tower of Babel, homages to Buster Keaton.
There's not really any dialogue in that movie either, right?
Maybe 3 words, maybe something like that. There's a couple title screens where somebody's trying to talk to somebody and they pull up a title screen of what he's saying, like a silent movie.
Yeah.
So fun. So you can actually rent that now. Just look up and wherever you would rent movies, you can rent that. I'm waiting for the physical release to come out, but it is available now to watch at home. So I will say that. Hundreds of Beavers. I watched Boy Kills World.
Are you going to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. This is not great, but it's also not terrible. I kind of feel like what Joseph said, people are calling it this absolutely abhorrent abortion of a movie.
Oh yeah.
And
Bruce hated it.
Bruce hated it. Yeah. And I understand why people would hate it because the energy and the level, the vibe that it's giving off is kind of like edgy teenager wrote it, like an edgy teenager wrote it. Like it's very trying hard to be clever and dark and cool.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always land. Apparently it released last year in the film festival circuit. And before, when it was released there was no John Benjamin voiceover. It was Bill Skarsgård doing the voiceover.
Oh.
And then they decided to add John Benjamin from Archer and Bob's Burgers as the voiceover. It's interesting. I was like, for the first 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, this is not great. And then I turned the corner and I was like, I kind of met the movie on its own level of the kind of weird, chaotic energy. Yeah. So it feels like an equal parts Kung Fury, The Hunger Games, this TV series, Happy, which I think was an NBC series, Monkey Man, Guns Akimbo, Prisoners of the Ghostland, and Ong Bak. So a weird mashup of vibes and kind of influences that didn't always work, but I still had a pretty good time. I gave it 3 stars out of 5.
All right. And
the guy that did the actual choreography for Raid and Raid Redemption, it's like a Muay Thai fighter in real life. Mm-hmm. He did the fight choreography for those movies. He was one of the main characters. He was like the guy who essentially raised the kid. And the story is that this boy was raised by this mystic man. It's this alternative, weird sci-fi future sort of thing, kind of like Hunger Games. And they do this thing called the culling, which is just kind of like the Purge, except for they kidnap people and kill a certain, dissenters. Yeah. And he is going to find the leader aristocrats and kill them now that he's trained in this. He's an ultimate fighting machine, but he's deaf and mute. So he doesn't talk. In his mind, the narration is John Benjamin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
which is weird because
interesting concept.
Is he born deaf and mute?
No. It happened. It shows what happens to him in the movie. And
I was like, how would he have a voice in his head if he's never spoken before?
well, the voice is borrowed. That's going on the board.
We already have it on the board.
Fucking witch over there on the other side of the table. For being scared of witches, you sure sound like a witch a lot. No, the voice is borrowed from a video game. He's like my favorite game, like Fight Champions 2 or something like that, which is supposed to be like a Street Fighter. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's, you lose. Flawless victory.
And it's H. John Benjamin.
It's H. John Benjamin, yeah. And so he's like, took the voice, when I decided to have my own voice in my head, it was going to, as an adult, because he's deafened and muted as a child.
Brendan.
Yeah. Brendan. Yeah, Coach McGurk from
Home Movies.
Yeah, so I was hoping a little bit more for this.
Brendan. And look, like the trailer made it looks like very fun and violent.
It was fun and violent, Charlotte Copley's in it for a bit. Brett Gelman's in it. What's her name? Famke Janke.
Famke Janke?
Is that her name?
Now that sounds like an AI.
Famke Janssen. Famke Janssen. I think that's what it is. Oh. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of, it's not quite on the level of like John Wick's fight choreography. So if you're not in the mood for it, it could be like a 1.5 or a 2-star movie. I put it at about 3. So there's that. I watched a new movie that's out in theaters right now. And again, you can only get that in theaters currently. A new movie that is starring Jim Cummings, the most beloved Jim Cummings, who is the writer star of Thunder Road and The Wolf of Snow Hollow and The Beta Test. 3 movies that I really like. So it's written and directed by Francis Galuppi. It's called Francis Galuppi. Galuppi. It's called The Last Stop in Yuma County. And this is a really tight, sort of like suspenseful, sort of contained, like what do they call that? A chamber piece? It's like all in one small setting. Mm-hmm. It's like a really tight, kind of mysterious, very cool chamber piece. And it's a period piece. It doesn't quite say when it is, but maybe like late 80s, early 80s. And it's set in Arizona, obviously, Yuma County, Arizona. And there's this gas station right on the edge of the county. This is the last stop before 100 miles, and you can't get gas for 100 miles. So all these people traveling this lonely highway are stopping at this gas station. And Faison Love is the gas station owner. And he's like, hey, we're all out of gas. The tanker's coming. They're running late. So y'all can wait in the diner right there. Mm. And these people one by one go into this diner to wait in this diner. And it turns out that there's a couple of guys that just robbed a bank. And they're now in the diner now. So it's Jim Cummings plays a knife salesman, traveling knife salesman. He's on his way out of town to go visit his daughter. there's like the woman working the diner, Faison Love's next door. He lives next door at the gas station. And a couple of old people, the guy from the gas station scene in No Country for Old Men, he plays a character who's just like a local eating at the diner.
Yeah.
And his wife, and they're just sitting there killing time until the gas truck comes and eating lunch while they're there.
Yeah.
And the guy that plays Joe Chill, Richard Brake, is one of the...
Joe Chill.
Yeah, from Dark Knight.
Chill.
Oh.
Yeah. He's the guy that killed Batman's parents, Bruce Wayne's parents.
Joe Chill.
Joe Chill. He plays one of the bank robbers, and basically he's holding everybody hostage there, and it's fucking tense. And a movie like this can be very boring if it's written poorly, if the characters are not interesting, if the performances are not there.
Yeah.
And if the camera work is just boring, it could be just a drag, but this is fucking tight. This movie is tight.
Sounds like Dog Day Afternoon.
Dog Day Afternoon is very high energy because there's like crowds and there's probably, 30 people hold a hostage in there?
Closer to Hell or High Water.
Yeah. It's, I don't know.
It's getting warm. What else? Place Me on the Pines.
No, it feels a little bit more like Panic Room because it's just all, it's all within this diner.
Confined space, yeah.
But every new person that comes in, like at some point, it's not a spoiler, it's in the trailers that, he reveals, they find out, oh, he's the guy.
So it's like Held Up, the Jamie Foxx gas station movie.
Haven't seen that.
Really?
Haven't seen that. But yeah, at some point they're like kind of found out by the people there. So they're like, all right, nobody moves. We're got the gun out. We're gonna, and every time a new character comes in, you're kind of introduced to a new element. They don't know what's happening in there. And it's like this silent stalemate where everyone's forced to stay there. It's a great writing prompt. Everyone's forced to stay there because of the gas truck. You literally can't go anywhere because the next gas station is 100 miles away.
Right.
There's no getaway truck or car because everybody's on low gas and the next gas station is 100 miles away.
Yeah.
So the robbers, bank robbers, they can't steal someone's car and drive away because of all this. So it's a really great setup. And every time a new character is introduced, it's kind of like the Wild West out there.
Yeah.
And this dude rolls up and he's got a gun. Old couple comes up and she's got a gun in her knitting bag. Police officer comes in to get coffee for the station because their coffee maker's broken and he's got a gun. And it's like every new person that comes in, it's like new suspense. Is it going to happen? When's it going to blow up? Is there going to be a shootout? Is somebody going to get killed?
Was there a shootout?
You got to wait and see.
If there's a gun.
I was going to say, it'd probably be a really boring movie if 7 guns are introduced and no shootout happens. So Chekhov's gun times 7. But it's great. And like I said, Jim Cummings, he's great in everything and he's really good in this. And the writing and director of this, Francis Galuppi, he's just was announced to make the new Evil Dead movie.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's only in theaters, but it's absolutely worth watching. That's Last Stop in Yuba County. To go along with that, I watched Infested on Shudder. Nothing like this movie, but this one is directed by Sebastian Vanecek. I think it's I. Yeah, Sebastian Vanecek is French, and he's also slated to write and direct the next Evil Dead movie.
Wait, I thought the other guy was going to direct it.
There's 2 coming out at the same time.
Are they sequels to
At
Rise?
the same time.
No one knows. So totally different style movie. That one's the Last Stop in Yuma County is like a slow burn chamber piece. This one is a absolute total creature feature gross out fest, creep fest of a spider infestation.
Oh,
it's set it's kind of like Attack the Block, where it's all set in like a kind of high rise apartments, low income apartments, but instead of England, it's France. So just like La Haine, they're in these kind of crappy apartments, and the young man who's the main character of this,
is it French?
It's French, yeah, it's in French, and he likes creatures. He's got like centipedes and crickets and like exotic roaches and stuff in his room. He's a hustler. He sells like stolen Air Jordans and stuff like that. And he buys this exotic spider from some dealer. And he likes it. He goes, oh, I'll take you home. And I don't have a cage for you yet. I'll just put you in this shoebox. And he puts in the shoebox. He goes, I'll come back later.
God.
And this particular spider, every time it kills its prey, he like lays eggs in the thing.
Yeah.
So it's like he kills he's got a bug, in a box.
Right.
He goes, eats the body of the, butterfly that he has pinned to the wall. And then he lays eggs in there, makes an egg sac around the butterfly. And now
hundreds of spiders.
Hundreds of spiders, but they're all small.
Like hundreds of beavers.
Exactly.
Hundreds of spiders.
But they have this whole conversation about how evolutionary traits evolve, and sometimes creatures have to evolve to fight the size of their predator or something like that. Yeah. You okay, Tyler?
I'm sorry, I was
You
yawning.
bored?
No, I
Bored with this?
No, I was yawning. I'm sorry.
Why'd you drink the coffee I make for you every time you come here?
I'm hungry.
Oh, okay.
Where's your Uncrustable and your bag of sour Skittles?
I'm out.
You run dry. Yeah. But anyways, so yeah, they have this plot device where if the predators are larger, the spiders will evolve quickly to be larger. So at one point,
interesting.
Yeah, at one point it kills a larger predator, not a human, but something else.
It's like a video game.
Kinda.
Video game logic.
And
leveling up.
And it's like much like Alien, their life cycle is very fast. So it lays the eggs and they're birthing within like hours.
Jesus.
And it's hundreds of them. And then if that
what
one...
are they mating with? Is there 2 spiders?
It doesn't say.
It's a female spider.
It doesn't say.
It's like
asexual. It's like a banana slug.
Yeah, I guess
like
so.
A snail.
Self-sexual.
Yeah.
I'm self-sexual.
Autosexual. Yeah.
Autosexual. I don't need no man.
Yeah, you don't need to know a whole lot
I'm a
about
strong,
it.
independent spider.
Yeah, you don't need know a whole lot about the mechanics of it. But once it really gets going, it's like they're stuck in this apartment building and like the government shuts it down because they're like, there's something going on in there. Someone dies.
There's hundreds of spiders here.
It turns into like thousands, like tens of thousands of spiders.
Hundreds.
And they get bigger and bigger. Every time they kill a large prey, at some point,
they get bigger.
At some point it kills a human and like lays eggs in its head. And when this giant spider comes out, it's like the size of a fucking Great Dane.
It's like a gremlin spider.
Yeah, it gets bigger and bigger. And it seems like a more or less a moderately budgeted movie. It's not a huge like studio tentpole movie, but the CG is pretty good in it.
Okay. Do they use any practical spider effects?
Yes, there is some practical spider effects.
Nice.
Some of the spiders I was thinking those look like the kind of spiders from Arachnophobia. The really nice ones that they could they could corral with the hot air dryers.
My favorite,
like Lysol or something like that.
Yeah, the Pledge.
My favorite spider movie is 8-Legged Freaks.
It's a fun one. Yeah,
I like that one.
This is if you watch this before bed, I don't really care about spiders. They don't scare me or anything.
Yeah, they don't scare
I'm not scared.
But after I watch this, every time like my hair would move on my arm or something, like I'd get an itch on my arm. I'd be like, fucking make sure that's not a giant spider on me.
It gave it the heebie-jeebies?
It did, yeah. And so it was effective. I can only imagine if you actually are afraid of spiders, what your effect would be. But this is really fun. It's streaming on Shudder and AMC Plus. It's from 2023, but it just hit America this week. I watched the original Hellboy. I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about that, but
that's such a good movie.
It's on Hulu, and this is great. It's a really good movie.
Guillermo del Toro just really hit it out of the park.
Guillermo del Toro.
I said Guillermo del Toro. That's how you say it, right?
That is, but that's not what you said.
No, that's what I said.
Tyler, wake up.
I'm awake.
You're hot shit because you know words.
Wake up, Tyler.
I don't need this browbeating right now.
It's okay. We'll play it back later.
All right.
We'll clip it and play it next week for you.
Please don't.
Yeah, so this is streaming on Hulu. Watch it. It's really good if you haven't seen it. I'm going to watch the second one and then the 2019 one that you recommended.
Okay.
And see what it's like. I watched Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
The animated movie.
The animated movie. Had never seen it before. Brianna told me it was a tragedy.
Oh.
I watched it. I didn't like it. Two and a half stars.
Wow.
Yeah. Animation's good enough and the characters there's too much. They're trying to do too much with all the characters.
Was Brianna disappointed you didn't like it?
No, she said the same thing. She's like, I remember this being better.
And also, it was a colossal failure at the box office as well.
I think I've seen that, but I don't remember much about
Michael J. Fox voices the main guy. He's got the big glasses. He looks like a skater guy.
Yeah.
Then, I don't remember this movie.
James Garner plays like the general, and I was like, that voice sounds so familiar. He's pretty good.
It was like one of the last Disney animated movies, or
something like that,
or 2D animated movies, I should say.
Jim Varney.
Jim Varney plays the chef.
Jebediah.
Cookie. He plays Cookie, the chef. I watched Leaving Las Vegas. Oh yeah, I was gonna say Atlantis. Don't watch it.
Okay, cool. Got it.
I watched Leaving Las Vegas streaming on Max and Showtime. Good, but not great. I put it 3 stars.
Not great.
I put it 3 stars, maybe bordering on 2.5. Cage's performance is phenomenal.
Nominated for an Oscar for that.
It's iconic. The soundtrack is cool as fuck. The score is great. Elizabeth Shue is a smoke show.
Right.
But the movie super drags in the middle and it feels like a movie that I'll probably never watch again.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because like when I watched that movie, I thought the same thing. It definitely drags in the middle.
I feel like I idolize Cage's character in this at some points.
I don't, but I thought
him specifically?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't. Stop it. But
And it's not that bad.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Say what you need to say.
I'm just saying I did enjoy Nicolas Cage's performance in this movie. However, I think that there was a lack of substance to the movie, and there was much more to be desired.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you're talking about going on binges of drugs and alcohol, I think Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas succeeded more than Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So,
is it Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen either of these movies.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Fear and Loathing?
I haven't either.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Put it on the wheel.
Wait.
Put it on the wheel, Tyler.
My mind is blown right now. You guys see all these movies.
Yeah, haven't seen it. No Fear and Loathing.
I didn't see Goodwill. I didn't see Goodwill Hunting till this week.
Hunter S. Hoomson?
My esteem for you as film fans has gone down.
That's fine.
But at least we watched them.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair point.
Eventually I'll get there.
How dare you?
So, all right, next up on the list, Gattaca. Watched that on Amazon Prime. Actually, I watched it on disc. I bought it on 4K a while back.
Nice.
Finally watched it, and now it's on Prime. It wasn't streaming anywhere when I watched it 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
And yeah, super good. Very understated sci-fi. I think it feels like a low-budget movie that did a lot with what it had, and the concepts are more interesting than anything.
Uma Thurman, is it Uma Thurman who's in it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Isn't
that where they met?
Probably, yeah. Right around the time they got married. 97. Jude Law and Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
Also, who's it? Ernest Borgnine is in it. And what's his name? Alan Arkin. Good cast, great concepts. You know, there's a great line in it that says, we've got discrimination down to a science because they can analyze your DNA at a moment's notice and determine if you're going to be good or bad.
Oh,
a good candidate. Like they say, we can't use your DNA in a job interview. That's illegal, but we can offer you a drink and they can take your DNA from the cup.
Yeah.
Because it's a society where they're GMH, right? Genetically modified humans.
Yeah.
Yes. And the main character, Ethan Hawke, is considered, he's a love child. He was born of love, not of science.
Yeah.
He says, I was born on a Riviera, not the French Riviera, the Buick type. And he's born and he's not great. He's got a lot of maladies, and they just decide not to meddle with the genetics before he's born.
Yeah.
And then his brother is born and is like a perfect child.
Yeah.
And his whole goal basically is to beat his brother and to go into outer space to be a rocket scientist.
Why do I feel like there's a little crossover with Demolition Man when sex? It's like, ew, exchanging bodily fluids.
Well, it's interesting. Like, sex still exists in the world and people still do it, but it's almost like
the hunka chunka.
So yeah, exactly. It's like they sterilize themselves so they can't accidentally have a natural child, and if they do, they go in and modify the child from while before it's formed, and they're like, we can choose a boy or girl.
It's like making a sim.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, pretty much.
Well, let me ask you guys this: did you guys ever watch this movie in high school biology class?
Yes,
I did not.
I watched it in a summer school biology class.
97.
You were in summer school, Joseph? I thought you were a straight A student.
Hell no.
We talked about this on the show too.
2 times I've been to summer school.
Yeah.
I went to summer school every year.
No, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
I know.
You also didn't finish high school.
Okay, we don't have to get into that.
Eventually, he did.
Well, no, I didn't. I got my GED.
It's the same thing.
But I went to college, so it's fine.
All right, Gattaca, streaming on Amazon Prime. Watch that. I followed up on Driveway Dolls. I didn't like it.
No?
No. One of my least favorite movies this year. 2 stars. Yeah, frustrating. I hated every character. I hated them. The story is wildly unbelievable and dumb, and all this trouble for what they're going after. I won't say it. Hard pass. Is easily the worst film with either Coen's names on it, and I'm including The Lady Killers.
Wow.
Not good. I watched The New World, Terrence Malick's The New World, starring, what's his name, Colin Farrell and Coriana Kilcher, and then Christian Bale near the end.
Christopher Plummer too, right?
Christopher Plummer's in it. Noah Wiley's in it. And what's his name? Ben Mendelsohn is in it. And then also the redheaded guy from Stardust who gets turned into a goat named Bernard in Stardust. He's in it for a minute.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, that guy looks like the goat from Stardust. And I looked it up like, oh, shit, it is. This is the story of Pocahontas and John Smith and a white man coming to the New World, as the name might imply. If you watch this on Max where it's streaming, if you click on extras, you can go watch the extended version, which is in 2 hours 52 minutes. That's the version I watched, and it was pretty damn good.
Nice.
It was really good. It's still my second least favorite Malick movie of what I've seen. Tree of Life, number 1, Hidden Life, number 2, Thin Red Line, number 3, This, The New World, and Days of Heaven Last. All great movies, but this one falls near the bottom of his catalog. One of the most beautiful. I feel like you're putting yourself into a place in history and a place in time that may or may not be 100% historically accurate, but feels very lived in and real. And yeah, I don't know. It was really, I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then lastly, in theaters right now, Abigail.
Yes, Abigail.
Joseph watched this. I also watched this. Joseph, what did you think about Abigail?
Let me just go to what I wrote down here. It's a fun movie. Apparently, people are unaware of the twist that she's a vampire.
Oh, good for them. I would have loved to not know that going in.
I thought it was advertised as a vampire
It is advertised
movie.
that. It's like not a secret.
If we were taking the month off or the year off of trailers, we would have known.
Yeah.
The way it's structured too, it really leads you to believe, oh, this is going to be, there's a killer in the house, and and then all of a sudden, 35 minutes into the hour and a half movie, you're like, oh, it's a vampire.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. A little bit, the dialogue was a little cringy, especially in the first half of the movie. It's very bloody, like ridiculous deaths, and how they like what happens when you kill a vampire, and what happens is it's comical. The ballerina thing, because she's a ballerina vampire.
Ballerina vampire.
It just seemed
that's fine. That's awesome.
I don't know. It just seemed like it didn't have anything to do with anything other than like to add to Abigail just to try to make her interesting.
Well, they were using a Mad Libs to determine it.
Oh yeah. Doing a Captain
She's
Underpants.
a blank. It's a blank
Adjective
or stuck in a blank
occupation.
Yeah. Supernatural creature.
It was definitely funnier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
I think Dan Stevens was kind of like a highlight. I mean, and it makes sense for the story.
Him and Kevin Durant too. I like Kevin Durant a lot. He's the big guy.
Was he Russian?
He was French Canadian.
French Canadian.
Yeah, he's from Quebec.
He's just a big bronze dumb guy.
Yeah, I thought it was super fun.
I thought it was good enough to watch once and move on, but I would recommend it.
Would you recommend it in theaters?
Either way. I mean,
I thought it was a fun time in the theaters. I think I'm going to rewatch this again on streaming when Brianna is ready for a fun vampire movie. And I feel like if you are a vampire movie fan, it gives you a different flavor than a lot of vampire movies.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of a easy direct parallel. And it's made by the same people that did Ready or Not. Also another trapped in a house, kind of more or less a home invasion or stuck in a house movie. I think that one was a much better movie. Well, not much better. It was a better movie, but this one had its own je ne sais quoi. Yeah. The deaths were with vampire deaths were shocking.
It was like the violence was like 30 Days of Night type violence.
Okay.
Like the blood, sludge blood.
Yeah.
Sludge blood. No.
I like sludge blood.
Like very,
I like 30
it just looks
Days
very
of Night.
viscous.
Me too.
And oily.
This doesn't feel like 30 Days a Night though, just to be clear.
But,
No, it's not.
but just like
It's
the
super
effects.
fun, super energetic, very comedic. And I think Melissa Barrera was way better in this than she was in the two Screams.
I wasn't expecting this movie to be comedic. The way it's presented in the trailer.
I mean, I
looks
thought it was
very
funnier than I was anticipating.
Me too. Yeah. Very, very fun. A great night out type movie.
Nice.
Yeah. I put it at 4 stars and I could see myself watching it again. So, all right. Those are all of my streaming picks and non-streaming picks. Do you guys have anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Yosef?
No, I do not.
Okay, cool. So thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather Sachs, Ryan Corbin, and Chris. And thank you to everybody on the YouTube live and otherwise, and everybody else in the OGs in podcast land.
Yes.
Until next time. Thanks for joining us as we gab and chatter, a little bit of extended edition for our week off. Follow us later on in the week as we review Good Will Hunting, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's initial foray into the world.
Yeah.
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class and leave us a voicemail, 209-730-6010.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you on the YouTube page. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.